Okay. So good morning and welcome to Christ-Centered Foundational Yoga. We're going to start today on our backs. If you have a bolster, I'm going to have you put that underneath your knees. Or if you don't have a bolster, if you have some pillows or blankets, things like that, you could kind of roll up to create just a little bit of support for the backs of the legs. That would be great. And then for the head, we're just going to create a neck roll. So you can take a blanket or a towel flat underneath the head, but then we're going to curl up the bottom edge of that to create a little neck roll for the head to support the neck. So come on your backs with the legs extended. Make sure you are allowing those feet to just kind of splay open. Turn the palms upward, just drawing the shoulder blades back and down to create some opening and space through the heart. Just coming with open hands and open heart. Make sure that your neck feels supported, closing the eyes. And just taking a moment to scan your physical body. Notice any sensations that you're feeling in your body, just shining the spotlight of your attention to those areas. And then begin to notice what's happening with your breath. How fast or slow are you breathing? How deep or shallow? Where is your breath located this morning in this moment? Beautiful. And then we're going to begin to just breathe in deeply into the nose, feeling the breath move through the back of the throat, beginning to fill in to the chest, the rib cage, the belly, expanding and inflating, filling up. And then exhale, soften the belly, letting all the breath leave the body. You might want to keep your mouth open just to assist in releasing any tension that you're feeling in the jaw or neck and shoulders. And just keep breathing like this. Start to find a nice slow, steady rhythm for your breath. Let that breath usher you into a space of presence for this time of connection. Mind, heart, body, spirit, just willing, open, and available. I woke up this morning with really this sense of grief, sadness, frustration, all these feelings kind of mixed up at once, not knowing what to do with them. In the wake of George Floyd's senseless death, the injustice, the violence and chaos that has broken out in all of the cities in our nation, and the darkness that I just feel is like hovering over the earth. It was just so much for my soul to bear, and I know that I am not alone in feeling this. And I didn't know what words to give it. I didn't know how to pray or what to do with it. And the Spirit led me into Romans chapter 8, verses 26 through 28. It says, "In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We don't know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with wordless groans. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." It gave me so much comfort to know that the Spirit Himself is interceding on our behalf when we don't have the words. He knows the moans and groans of our hearts. He searches our hearts and he knows how we feel. He intercedes for God's people in accordance with his will. And we're reminded that somehow, some way, even though we can't see it, he is working all things for good. Take a moment to just receive those words of truth. And maybe, if you're feeling like I am, allow your wordless groans to be heard, to be felt. In this time of connection, allow God to meet you exactly where you are. In Jeremiah 33:3, it says, "Call to me and I will answer you. I will tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." Let the Spirit of God meet you in the midst of the breath. The word for breath is the same word as spirit, soul, life, and wind. Let the breath be your connection point. I want to invite you to bring the soles of the feet together, resting them on the bolster or whatever it is that you have behind your knees. If it's too much intensity to do both legs, you can do one leg at a time. So you could have one leg extended out and the foot of the other leg to the inside of the knee or thigh. Just allowing that bent knee to just begin to open the hip area. Taking a few breaths here, just releasing, letting go, surrendering to the shape, and surrendering your heart to God. It is so comforting to know that God hears our wordless groans. He's always listening, and he will answer us when we call to him. Switch legs if you're doing the one-legged variation. And just continue to breathe. Let time, breath, and gravity do the work for you. In fact, let there be no work, just stillness. Bringing your full presence into this moment. Slowly begin to bring the legs back together and up. We're going to move that bolster or whatever was underneath the legs out of the way. And then bring the feet to the edges of the mat. We're going to slowly just bring some movement by tick-tocking the knees from side to side. See if you can link your breath and your movement together. Let there be a rhythm, a cadence to it. Exhaling as you go to each side. Inhaling as you come back up to center. Keeping your shoulders relaxed on the mat. Just allowing the breath to move freely. Next time the knees go to the left, just allow them to release toward the floor. If this is too intense, you can always slide your right knee over toward your left leg, or you can place something between the thighs. You can also extend that top leg if you want a little deeper twist, bringing it a little higher than your left leg. Or maybe you keep it bent. Use your left hand to draw your leg toward you. Just keep that right shoulder grounded the whole time. A nice spinal twist here, like we're wringing out a dirty washcloth. Let go of those things that don't serve you. Letting go of toxic thoughts, emotions, energies. Creating space for love, compassion, kindness, and light. Slowly release that twist. We're going to bring the feet back to the edges of the mat. And then allow the knees to soften to the right. Once again, choose your variation. You can keep the legs like this. You can slide that left leg over toward the right, or even up toward you, taking a hold of it with the right hand, or you can extend that leg. Just make sure that left shoulder stays grounded. Just continue to breathe here. Maybe you're inhaling through the nose and exhaling out an open mouth. Or can you bring some more ease to the shape? Beautiful. Release that twist. We're just going to roll to the right side. Just pause there for a moment. Resting your head on your inner arm. Just breathing. And then we're going to press ourselves up, finding a seated position here. So you might want to take a blanket or even a bolster underneath those hips. And we're just going to bring the edge of our seat to the edge of the blanket or bolster. Good. Go ahead and sit in a cross-legged position. If this is too much, just find a seated position that feels more comfortable for you. You can also place blocks underneath the thighs to support them if needed. Good. And then I want you to really find some nice alignment here. So ears are stacking over shoulders, shoulders are stacking over the hips. Good. We're going to do what's called blending of heaven and earth breath. We are a bridge between heaven and earth. And so right now, as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're breathing the breath up through the root, through where you're grounded. Breathe that in, and then we're going to store it in the baten, which is our abdomen. It's a Hebrew word, baten, and it means the shelter of our innermost being. So make that exchange with every breath. Inhale, breathing earth energy up into the body, storing it in the baten. Continue to breathe like this a few more times, breathing in. And as you exhale, gently storing that energy in your belly. Now on the next inhale, imagine the breath coming straight from heaven through the crown of your head, and we're going to store it in the heart. So inhaling through the top of the head, exhaling, storing that energy in our heart. Let God be in our hearts. Inhaling that vertical connection, exhaling it into the heart. Nice. One more like that. And exhale into the heart. This time, inhale, just half of the inhale is going to come from the ground into the baton. And the other half is going to come from the crown to the heart. On the exhale, imagine you're blending heaven and earth. Inhale from the ground. The rest of the inhale comes through the crown of the head and settles in the heart. And as you exhale, we're blending heaven and earth. Let's do that again. Inhale from the ground to the baton. The rest of the inhale from the crown to the heart. And then exhaling, circulating that energy. Beautiful. Now just rest for a moment in a natural breath. We're going to start to do some cat-cows. So gather the legs. On the exhale, we're going to curl and round the spine, bringing our forehead toward our knees. On the inhale, open the legs, press the belly forward, slide the heart forward, and draw the skull back. Exhaling, curling and rounding. Inhaling, opening the legs, arching the spine. Continue to breathe like this. Inhaling. Exhaling. Beautiful. On the next inhale, float those knees open. We're going to switch the feet out. So whichever leg is in front now comes to the inside. Again, re-ground yourself, align your spine. And then on the inhale, sweeping the arms up. Float your left hand down. On the exhale, hinge to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Shoulders stay down. Exhale, let's take it to the other side. Beautiful. Moving like this a few more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling to the right. Beautiful. Inhaling up. One more time each side. I like to do things in threes. Exhale. Beautiful. On the next inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen the spine. And then on your exhale, twisting from the waist, begin to rotate to the left. Float the hands down wherever they fall. So that right hand might rest to the ankles or the floor. It might come to the knee or even to the outside of the thigh. The left hand behind you grounds down, find the length in the spine, and then continue the twist from the belly, the chest, and then the head last. Breathe here. With every inhale, imagine you're lengthening the spine. With every exhale, just finding a little bit deeper twist. Beautiful job. On the inhale, sweep the arms back up to center. Lengthening the spine, always lengthening before we twist. On the exhale, rotate to the other side, twisting at the waist. Again, let the hands fall wherever they need to. With that right hand, ground down, lengthen the spine, and continue the twist from the belly, the chest, and then the head. On every inhale, a little bit longer. And every exhale, just a subtle shift, just a little bit deeper in the twist. Beautiful job on the inhale, coming back up. And then exhale, float the hands down. We're just gonna do some torso rolls. So begin to take your chest toward that right thigh, through the center, over to the left, and back around. So just big circles, lots of breath. One of the things that I was reminded of as I was calling out to God with these wordless groans was Ephesians 6:12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. We have to remember that the struggle is not of flesh and blood. Take it in the other direction. There are forces at work. But we know that light casts out darkness. When we bring light in places of darkness, there is a shift. Because darkness is the absence of light. Beautiful job. I'm going to come back to the center. Take the legs out for just a moment. Shake them out a bit. Good. If your hamstrings are on the tight side, you might want to bend the knees or place something behind the knees for support. We're going to draw the toes up toward the nose. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Again, take as much bend in the knees as you need, but we're going to hinge forward at the hips, leading with the heart, and fold at the hips. On the inhale, come up. Shoulders back and down, long straight spine here. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Imagine that you have like a bar at your waist and you're trying to lift up and over that bar, hinging at the hips, fold. Beautiful job. Inhale, come on up. Shoulders back and down, lengthen the spine. Lift up and over that imaginary bar. And then just float the hands down wherever they fall. Make sure there isn't a bunch of tension in the neck, in the jaw. Maybe bring a little bit of movement there and just kind of soften the head. Let the crown move forward as the tail slides back. Forward folds are calming for the nervous system. So bring some peace and calm to your inner state. Through this breath, through this posture, bowing in humility, in reverence and awe. On the inhale, walk those hands back. And then we're going to go ahead and come on to all fours. So here, you might want a blanket underneath the knees. So place something behind or underneath the knees if you need it. Good. And then with the toes tucked, we're going to stand onto our knees. So just like if we were in mountain pose, we want to really ground down through the knees and the feet, any points that are touching the earth. Build that nice foundation, rooted and grounded in truth, in love. Nice long straight spine, shoulders away from those ears, crown lifting. On the inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. On the exhale, take the arms wide, bring the hands to the small of the back. We're going to round the spine, barely touching the head down. Keep the core engaged. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Maybe add a little back bend at the top here, reaching that bridge of heaven and earth here. Exhale, rounding it out. Inhale, coming up. And then exhale, bring it down. Good. Bring the tops of the feet to the floor and just come into a child's pose here. So if you're healing in the knees, you might want a blanket or something rolled up behind the knees. You might want something underneath the forehead. Maybe you stack the hands under the forehead if you need that for support. I started thinking of prayers that I had heard that I felt were applicable and helpful. And one of my favorites is the prayer of St. Patrick. It says, I arise today through the strength of heaven, light of the sun, splendor of fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of the wind, depth of the sea, stability of the earth, firmness of the rock. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak to me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me, God's hosts to save me, afar and anear, alone or in multitude. Christ, shield me today against wounding. Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left, Christ when I lie down, Christ when I sit down, Christ in the heart of everyone who thinks of me, Christ in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me, Christ in the eye that sees me, Christ in the ear that hears me. I arise today through the mighty strength of the Lord of all creation. So we begin to come up. We're going to come onto all fours for just a moment, bringing the hands directly underneath the shoulders. And then just begin to allow a little organic movement. So maybe you're circling the hips here, or maybe you're doing kind of a serpentine movement, like your spine is a rope. Maybe you want to take your gaze to each foot, just a little lateral bending of the spine here. Just go with what feels good, or maybe you just don't repeat any movements and you just move as you feel organically led to. Just breaking free, to feel that sense of freedom in our movement. Beautiful. Go ahead and come up. We're going to step the left foot forward. This is a great place for some blocks. So step the left foot forward. Toe heel that foot forward a little bit. So we have a nice wide stance here. We want the right hip sculpting forward and down, the left hip drawing in and back. Beautiful. And take a few breaths here. We're just going to kind of come back a little bit and then come forward. Just nice and slow. Bending and straightening that front leg, coming from a lunge to a modified pyramid. Maybe you get a little bigger with your movements with each pass. One of the things I love about the prayer of St. Patrick is this visualization I get of just being completely surrounded, completely hemmed in by God. Praying that for myself and everyone today. Bring your hands to the inside. Hands directly underneath those shoulders. Just feeling a little deeper stretch here. And maybe energetically, it's like you're trying to draw that left heel toward your groin. So you'll feel a little deeper stretch and a little activation of that hip. Walk the hands over to the right. Coming into a twisted lizard shape. Just check in with that left knee. We don't want it to collapse. So keep that left knee stacking over your left foot. Check in with your breath. Press into the right hand. So the right hand stacking directly underneath the right shoulder. We're stacking bones here. Bring your left hand to your left thigh, and then we're going to rotate the torso to the left. Keep that length in the spine. Maintain awareness of breath. Beautiful job. Slowly unravel that. And then we'll bring the hands back to the center. Good. Take that left leg back, bring the hands to the floor, and then we're just gonna tick-tock that heel from side to side. Good, coming back on the knees. Step the right foot forward. You can bring hands to blocks if you have them available. Good. If you don't have blocks and things at home, it's a great idea to make that investment for your home practice, to have those tools available, like blocks, a strap, some blankets, or beach towels that you can use. Shoulders away from those ears, and we're going to begin to just kind of rock back and forth, so you can start with smaller movements and then work your way into bigger movements as the body begins to open up and create that pathway. Checking in with the breath. Good. Bring the hands to the inside. Taking a moment to just sink a little deeper into this shape. So again, allow that right knee to come forward a little bit, but you're hugging the heel in toward your groin energetically. So we get that activation of the hip. You'll feel that left hip begin to drop, kind of sculpting it forward and down. Walk the hands over to the left. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists. But check in with that knee. We don't want the knee collapsing. So that right knee continues to stack over the ankle. Plug in through that left hand with the left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. Bring your right hand to your right thigh and then begin to rotate to the right. Just feel this stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful. Slowly unravel that. Bring the hands back to center. Good. Take that foot back behind you, hands to the floor, and then just tick-tock that heel. Good. Bring the knees down. And then option, take the knees wide and bring the toes together and begin to fold out in child's pose. Or if you want to find your way into a down dog, press into the hands with the knees about hip-width distance apart and the toes tucked. Bring your ears back toward your biceps. And then begin to slide those hips up and back. Pressing the mat forward with the hands, crown moves toward the thumbs as the heels begin to press toward the floor. You can alternate heels if you like, or you can bend the knees and straighten them. But keep moving the weight backward toward your feet, out of your hands and wrists and shoulders. Couple breaths here. Good. Bend into those knees, and then we're going to walk the feet toward the front of the mat. Bend those knees deeply and let your belly and rib cage rest to your thighs, folding out over those legs. Crown sinks toward the floor as the tail slides up, but draw the shoulder blades toward each other and toward your hips. Breathe here and let go. Begin to rock a little here, side to side. Maybe shaking your head. No, or yes, or a little of both. Beautiful job. On the inhale, lift halfway. Bring the hands to the shins, lengthening into the spine. Crown moves forward, tail slides back. Nice long spine here. And then on the exhale, bend and fold. On the inhale, sweep high. Ride the breath all the way up to standing. Straighten, lengthen, and reach. Staying rooted and grounded. And bring your hands to your heart center. So in Matthew 6, we see Jesus giving us an example of how to pray. And this is where we get the Lord's Prayer. We're going to add some breath and movement to the Lord's Prayer today. And so just take a moment to really feel a connection to this breath, to your body, to God through this body. Again, we're a bridge between heaven and earth. Our Father, inhale, sweep the arms up, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. On the exhale, swan dive. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Lift halfway, on earth as it is in heaven. Bend the knees. Give us this day our daily bread. Step the right foot back. Forgive us our trespasses. Step it forward. Step the left foot back as we forgive those who trespass against us. Step it forward. Bring the hands to heart center. Lead us not into temptation. Inhale, sweep the arms up, but deliver us from evil. On the exhale, for thine is the kingdom and the glory. Inhale, sweep all the way up, forever and ever. Hands to heart. Amen. We're going to do that again. Our Father, inhale, sweep the arms up, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Exhale, forward fold. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Inhale, lift halfway, on earth as it is in heaven. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Step the right foot back. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. Step that foot forward. Step the left foot back. As we forgive those who've trespassed against us. Step it forward. Bring hands to heart center. Lead us not into temptation. Inhale, sweep the arms up, but deliver us from evil. On the exhale, forward fold. For thine is the kingdom and the power and glory forever. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Amen. Hands to heart center. Take a moment, just quiet yourself. Just connecting again, breath and body. Maybe you say the prayer once again to yourself or out loud. This is a model of prayer that we can use when we don't know what to pray, don't know what to say. Bring your hands to your hips. And we're going to go ahead and step the right foot back, and then we're going to pivot. So we're in a wide open A stance. The toes will be pointing forward, or they'll angle in slightly. Beautiful. We're going to start with a little bit of a back bend, if that's safe for your body. So you can leave the hands on the hips, or you can take the hands to the smaller back, or you can even take elbow for elbow behind and create a little bolster for the back. Good. Begin to press those hips forward, sliding the heart up and draw the skull back. Only go as much as feels safe for your body. Stay grounded and rooted. Legs are nice and strong. On the inhale, sweep the arms up to come up to standing. And then on the exhale, hands can either come wide or through heart center, forward fold. Beautiful. Again, just allowing the head to hang heavy here. Maybe you begin to kind of bend one knee and then the other. If you need a block underneath the hands to make the floor a little closer to your face, go ahead and do that. Where's your breath? Nice. Hold over those legs. And then we're going to walk the hands to the left. So you can leave the hands on the floor, or you can wrap the hands and arms around your right leg, just depending what's available. If you want to add a little bit of a twist, go ahead and take that right hand high. On the exhale, float that hand down. We're going to walk over to the other side and fold over that leg. Continue to breathe. If you want to, you can take the right hand high, reach it up. Exhaling, floating that hand down, coming into that forward fold. Maybe you walk the hands through the opening in the legs and begin to fold more deeply. Or maybe you take a hold of the backs of the legs, or even hook the big toes with your first two fingers. Breathing out. Surrendering and letting go. Beautiful. We're going to lift halfway. And then angle the toes out now. Bend at the knees, bring your hands to your thighs to support yourself as you come up. And then we're going to stack ears over shoulders, shoulders over the hips. Check that your tail isn't sliding back. So kind of scoop it under slightly so you're in one nice long straight line. The knees are moving toward the toes. Beautiful. On the inhale, sweep the arms up and straighten the legs. Offer up something that you would like to give to God. Crisscross the hands behind the back. On the exhale, push it out. Inhale, a big scoop of love and light and all of its derivatives. Bring that into your heart. Let us be love and light. Inhale, sweep, arms up. Crisscrossing, exhaling, letting go of what you need to let go of. Push it out. Inhale, big scoop of love and light. Anything else that you'd like to draw into your heart? A few more like this, making this exchange with every breath. Inhale, sweep. Crisscross, exhale, push. Inhale, scoop. Bringing your hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, last one. Crisscross, let it become meditative. And draw those hands into your heart. Hold here. Keep breathing. Feel the strength of this posture. Feel your position as that bridge between heaven and earth. Salt and light. That is what we are called to be. Salt adds flavor. Light adds light. Where there's darkness, despair, pain, conflict. Be love and light. Like Nelson Mandela said, let us be the change that we want to see in the world. Inhale, straighten those legs. Whew. Tap them out or shake them out as you move them toward each other. And kind of wiggle it all off. All right, we're going to come back down onto the floor. Just making our way to our back. Good. Have a block handy if you have one available. You can also use like a rolled up towel or blanket if you want to. We're going to come onto the back. The feet will be about hip width distance apart. Put the feet on the floor. Just slide your shoulder blades back and down to keep a nice open heart here. Press into the feet, engaging the legs. Begin to lift the hips, and we're going to slide our block underneath. We want it to be long ways though, and you don't want it to go up any higher than the sacrum. We don't want it to go up into our lumbar spine. So just resting our sacrum, that hard triangular shaped bone at the base of our spine, on that block. Take a moment here to just continue to open the heart, maybe even intentionally sliding the shoulders back and down. Palms open. Being reminded he hears the moans and groans of your heart. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving in your heart, present your requests to God. And the peace of the Lord that transcends all understanding will guard your heart and mind. Very slowly begin to lift those hips and slide the block out from underneath. Coming back down. Draw your right knee in toward your chest. Send your left leg out long. Good. Maybe you circle the knee here, just bringing some movement, excavating that right hip joint, or exploring it, or both. Move in the other direction, clearing out the cobwebs, creating space. Then we're going to gently hold on to the knee with the left hand, bringing the right arm out to the side like a wing, and then begin to draw the leg across the body to the left. Soften your right shoulder, maybe gazing over your right hand. Breathe. You're going to slowly unravel, and then we'll switch legs. Take that left leg in, Extending the right leg long. Begin to move that knee around, opening up into that hip a little bit more. And then begin to take it in the other direction. Good, holding onto the knee with the right hand. Take the left arm onto the side like a wing, and then draw the leg across the body to the right. Keep the left shoulder grounded. Begin to unravel that twist. Gently draw both knees to your chest. Maybe rocking a little here side to side. Beautiful. Now you can keep rocking like this, or you can take the arms to the sides like wings and then just allow the knees to move from side to side. Again, see if you can link your breath and movement. If you're doing this, exhale to each side. Inhale as you come back up. Keep the legs engaged, flex the feet like you're hugging the thighs together or holding something between the legs. Come into a big, beautiful, full body stretch. Just lengthen here. Feeling all that space that you created in your practice and through your intention. Letting go of any other residual tension or stuff that you need to let go of. Maybe stretch a little into the left side and then the right. Nice. Inhale back to center. And then on your exhale, gently float your hands down alongside your hips. Let your feet splay open. If you want to support yourself with any of the props that you have available, feel free to do that. You can roll up something behind the knees, place something behind the head, or maybe place something over you for warmth and comfort. One of my favorite prayers comes from the prayer of St. Francis. And Sarah McLachlan did a beautiful version of it. If we were not in this environment, I would play the song for you, but unfortunately it doesn't translate, and we get copyright issues when we do that on YouTube. So I'm going to read you the words, and then when I send you guys the link for the class, I'll send you a link for the song. It says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is offense, let me bring pardon. Where there is discord, let me bring union. Where there is error, let me bring truth. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, let me bring your light. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. Master, let me not seek as much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that one receives. It is in self-forgetting that one finds. It is in pardoning that one is pardoned. It is in dying that one is raised to eternal life. Just sink into the silence in this time of connection and prayer. Be still and know that He is still God. always will be. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Gently draw your knees toward your chest, rocking a few times. Then make your way to one side, pausing there for a moment in a fetal position. A beautiful reminder that we are all God's children. As you're ready, begin to press yourself up, supporting yourself as you go. Come into a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, today I lift up in prayer George Floyd and his family. I lift up our nation. I lift up the world. I pray, Lord, for love, light, unity, and peace. Please, God, we need you now more than ever. And when we don't have the words to say and we don't know what to pray, Lord, we know that you intervene, you intercede on our behalf. We thank you, Father, that you hear our prayers, that you answer, and that you are a loving, good God. We lift this up in your mighty and powerful name. Amen. Thank you all for being here with me today. Oops. Thanks for being with me. I appreciate you. Keeping you all in my heart and prayers. God bless you. Have a good week.